Songwriter Soup.
Your choice to pivot into artist land was, as I recall, reluctant. I remember saying to you, and I quote, "They're gonna try to make you be an artist because you're so handsome."
Okay, that's reductive.
Healthy recipes for not losing your mind and your money in the songwriter business.
I started pitching songs that people couldn't sing. They couldn't match what I was doing.
And that is true.
So it was like I couldn't sell it right. And I got really annoyed because I was like, well, I have no control over this. And I thought in my head, the delusion was like, oh, if I just make my own records, I decide what works and what doesn't.
Welcome to Songwriter Soup. Sorry, that was aggressive. Welcome to Songwriter Soup.
I liked it.
Thank you.
No, I liked it.
It's authoritative. I'm feeling
We're here.
like
Like you're in charge.
We're in charge.
You
yes,
are in charge.
I'm in charge, damn it.
That's
why
feeling
people
I
show
got.
up to this podcast. It's for
It's for Kevin.
this guy.
Guys, it's the
Not
Soulful Mickey.
this guy.
Well, it's funny because, this is our top 5 most handsome guests, I'd say.
That's fantastic.
Ryan Hurd
I'd like to
is
see the
on
list.
the podcast.
These
Like
are
to review the
songwriters
list,
we're
make
talking
sure.
about.
Yeah,
for the most part.
songwriters. But this is what's funny is when you pivot from songwriter to artist, you have to be this level handsome. Like you got to be this guy.
At some point, you got to pivot back. So.
When I first met Ryan, do you mind if I tell them who you were? Before?
Wait, Ryan who, everyone?
Ryan Hurd. I said it.
Oh.
But I'll say it again. Ryan Hurd podcast. Hi.
I'm
Welcome.
an open book for you.
Oh, thank you.
Tell anything you want.
We're at the same generational level of, we entered the game at the same time, I want to say, had our first hits around the same time. And we first met before either of us had, I think, anything going on.
Much to scratch together.
Yeah, we were definitely just, day jobbing it. You had a day job.
Yeah, I can talk about that.
Yes, please do. What was it?
You would like me to start from the beginning.
Well, we're going to bounce around, but I think the people would like to imagine the job that you had. I personally like imagining what you did.
So I came to town and I graduated high school and then I came to Belmont and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to go to Nashville. And I was like, maybe I'm interested in music. So this is but I also just kind of want to go to college there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took one music business course called Survey of Music Business and said, I don't think I need to do 4 years of this. And I got an econ and sociology degree from Belmont, which I'm really proud of. And then I was going to go to graduate school at Michigan or Wisconsin. Michigan for urban, I think I got in too, for urban planning. And then Wisconsin for, listen to this one though. This is the program they wanted me to go to at Wisconsin. Rural sociology.
Okay.
Either urban planning at
That's kind of like songwriting, right?
Sure.
it's like, hey, do you want to, so I was like, I don't think either one of those things are for me. So I started, I got a contract job, not even a job. I had a couple contracts with the United Methodist Church doing statistics work,
Okay.
research.
Downtown.
No,
Here?
at the 12, it's United Methodist Communications. It was on 12th Avenue,
Yeah.
right across from TISN.
Well,
And,
good lunch options.
It wasn't
for
there
you.
at that time.
Oh,
This
that's sad.
And so I didn't have I didn't have hours because it was a 1099 job. So I would do all my T-scores and Z-scores and whatever. I didn't have to, but I would go in at 8, from 8 to 11, and then I could write. And then I would write from 11 to 3 or 4, and then afterwards I'd have to go use my laptop to clean up that other work. But it was really important for me because you need to be, if you're trying to get your foot in the door, writing during the day is really important.
Sure.
Nobody who is, I would say ahead of you is not the right word, but professional writers don't write at night unless it's an artist
LA.
opportunity or they can't drive anywhere because they're gridlocked in LA. But it was important for me to do that. So anyway, I got my first publishing deal in 2012 at Universal, and I just kept doing this job on the side because I'm like, I kind of doubled my income. No, not really doubled, but I had a tiny little draw. It allowed me to take a really small draw at Universal because I had this supplemental job. I was like, I can keep doing this if I
Mm-hmm.
can just do it
A
the same
practical
thing.
man,
Yeah.
Ryan Hurd.
Yeah.
Very practical
And then
choice.
I didn't quit that. I don't think for 2 more years because I didn't tell anybody.
Wow,
but-
you had the deal.
Yeah. So
Well, this was the window when we met.
Yeah.
And so I want everyone to know that this strapping man before you looked like an IT guy. I just want you to
knows
know.
what a T-score is.
Literally. Literally,
That's
when we
awesome.
met, it was just so funny. It was just
I
like,
think I kind of look like an IT guy right now.
we all get it. We all know. But the
I didn't quit that until I had my first number 1 though. So I had 2 singles on the chart and I still didn't trust it.
yeah.
And then when my first number 1 was with Blake Shelton and Ashley Monroe, who we just talked about,
Mm-hmm.
because we were talking about the song "The Blade" that Jamie Floyd wrote,
Unbelievable
an
song.
Ashley Monroe song, and that whole album got nominated for a Grammy, I think.
Yes.
And it's just one of the best albums I've ever heard. But anyway, yeah, so I didn't quit that job until I had a number 1 song. And then I walked in and was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because all the people at the office knew that I was doing this and they were all like pulling for me
Yeah.
Mhm.
to like quit. So it was kind of fun.
It's just very practical choice.
Yeah,
And I love that about you. Very practical person.
My boss was named Chuck. He was really a nice guy. And he was always like so cool with me pursuing that at the expense of my work there. He was like, I don't think he cared too much about it either.
I love
But he
that.
was like, man, yeah, Chuck Niedringhouse. I think he lives in Raleigh now. His family's from there. So anyway,
I love that.
that was my start.
Well, our first write was just the 2 of us, which is, again, kind of interesting that our publishers decided we needed no one more than just you and me. And we sat in, I wish I could remember what song we wrote. It probably was semi-trash, semi-not that terrible. And then,
We were just figuring it out though.
yeah,
both
we
of
were
us.
just chilling and learning how to write with each other, which was so cool. And I feel like our knives continue to sharpen each other even to this day. It's just like part of having your like OGs, which is cool. Ryan's one of mine. It's been how many years have we been writing together since then? So
that
like
was 2012.
that's like over 10 years ago, 12 years ago. That's
12.
insane. 13, frick.
13.
13 years ago, and we still write. You know, you're on my calendar right now. So that's like one of those and we've had hits together, which is
Mhm.
super fun.
That's always the most fun. I love having
Indeed.
hits. I like having them with buddies the most.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty exciting. The thing that's fascinating about you is your choice to pivot into artist land was, as I recall, reluctant. I remember saying to you, and I quote, "They're gonna try to make you be an artist because you're so handsome."
okay, that's reductive. What happened aside from my dashing good looks is I started pitching songs that people couldn't sing. They couldn't
Ooh.
like match what I was doing.
And that is true.
So it was like I couldn't sell it right.
Mm.
Oh,
And
wow.
I got really annoyed because I was like, well, I have no control over this. And I thought in my head, the delusion was like, oh, if I just like make my own records, I decide what works and what doesn't.
Now, don't you say that's thematic? Like the whole like, no, I got to do this because no one else can thing.
Mm.
Sure.
In
Well,
artist land.
You do a lot of vocal production too. Like, how do y'all dial it back? Dial it back's not the right word.
You know,
but
you don't.
I think like, how do you sculpt it to fit an artist? Like,
It
when
does.
you don't?
Doesn't work. It doesn't like because if it's great, there's so much of yourself in it that if you try to make it something different, like you just
Mm.
hope that somebody hears through it and they're like, oh, But it's also Think
But
about all
that's-
those.
Spoken like an artist. Like I just want to say, like when someone is just meant to sell their own shit, which Ryan is just such a magnificent artist. His voice, his sound, the presentation, all of it matches. There's a through line between the
Mm.
things that you do in your artist world that are just obvious to the listener. I feel like I have no interest in that. So I do like to dial it back. I like to go, how generic can I make myself be so that this person can hear themselves in it? But I think your
That's what I
answer,
was getting at. I was
Yeah.
curious about
I
the,
have
I
no
think your
interest in it.
answer is more like what an artist would say because
yeah.
it's you. You know what I mean?
There's a million ways to be a songwriter, though. And I think one of the ways is to figure out what you're talking about, how do I make this so that so-and-so will like it? And mine is like, how do I make this so great that they're like, I have to cut that. And not like, I just can't, those are not like like those aren't in contrast with each other. Those are not in conflict with each other either.
Mhm.
I think it's I think like I don't know. I never have been able to like dial back, especially the vocal thing. Like
Mhm.
it's really like phrasing is so important if we're just going to talk about writing. Phrasing is so important
Yes.
to songwriting, and it gets lost a lot of times between the writer and the master, the demo and the master.
Truth.
It happens a lot. And like part of what I'm like writing with a new person, if I can like, it's not even difficult stuff. I'm not like, I'm not, I mean, we can go through like all of the great, great, great vocalists, Stapleton and Marin and like all of these people who are like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, I
Earth-shattering.
can't, like, I'm not that, but I do have a style.
Mhm.
And that's really important. It brands you. It like, but if I am writing with someone who's especially a young writer or artist, and I like sing something really specific to them, and they can sing it back to me right then, I'm like, they're gonna probably be okay.
Mhm.
Like Zach John King is one of those guys that can do
Mhm.
that.
My-
Not that it's like not that they can't figure it out. It's just like that's how I am. Is like I'm a phrasing nerd, and so when someone like just picks it up really quickly and doesn't spend like an hour figuring it out,
Mhm.
to me that's like okay, that like puts my
Kind of bit of a turn on for a songwriter.
puts my antenna up a little bit.
No,
Fair.
you're
And
like,
there are
oh,
other artists that I
you
work
get
with
it.
who are the exact opposite, and it's just so I actually respect that. I respect that almost more. I was writing with Blake Redfairn the other day, and I was so impressed with him because like the way that most people cut a demo vocal is like, I mean, I have a very specific way to do it in 12 minutes, but
Because you got to pick up
but
the
like
kid.
Blake sat down, he's like, hey, what I like to do is I like to like sing this song down like 8 or 9 times,
Mhm.
and I want to by the end of it like to know it. And so the way I do that, and I just watched him like learn the song out loud, and I was like, man, that is a really cool way to do this.
Mhm.
And by the end of it, he was comfortable with the song in a way that like I don't think most artists are with demos and stuff. So anyway, there's a million ways to do it, but
Sure.
phrasing's really important to me, and like that. Anyway, I started pitching songs, and then Sony came to me, Jim Catino and Taylor Lindsay, who now runs Sony, which I'm really proud of her
Mhm.
for doing that. But because we are, I think, pretty close to the same age and came up at the same time, and she got the job at Sony when I signed my record. Like the year at, like she got the job at Sony, and then one of the first things her and Jim did was like come talk to me about signing a record deal with
That's
them.
awesome.
And I was like, no, I want to write songs and have hits and stay home. And then a year later, they're like, so what do you think? And I'm like, I'll do it. So that's the long way of
That's
saying
awesome.
saying it was reluctant. And now I'm like, I just want to write songs and stay home.
We're back.
We're back. It's all full circle.
I like part of your brand is what you said about having a way that you deliver in a demo. I
Sure.
think. Do you have that too?
Oh
I-
yeah,
I thought-
we're both very sticklery about phrasing and
Yes.
pocket, and we have cute little arguments about pocket sometimes in the
Where the
writing room
pocket actually
where
is.
the pocket belongs is a big
Yeah.
conversation because we both hear it a certain way, and generally we end up somewhere in the middle where.
Well, I have the microphone, so
I still give you so much shit though.
that's not, no,
if
that's not bad,
if
though.
I'm like, nah,
I'll tell you
what
what.
to do.
When people do that to me, usually I need to know. Like the hardest part for me is learning a song that we have just written. It takes a second. And also, this happened the other day with me and you. But do you remember? I think we were writing with Sam, but Sam Ellis,
Mhm.
who we wrote "What If I Never Get Over You" with. So we
Mhm.
have, which is like such an amazing song and copyright. I'm really proud of it.
Me too.
But you heard the melody starting like on the one,
Mhm.
and I heard it starting like picking up before the one.
Can we have y'all sing that?
I
real
wish I could
fast?
remember.
I
what the
can't
song-
do it.
No
because
way.
here's
I
the thing,
remember. There's been 20 songs since then.
If I
But-
hear it like starting as a pickup
Yeah.
and you hear it on the one,
It's
it is
really
not
hard.
possible
It's not for me
to
either.
change like. So what I had to do was turn off the music and just have the click, and then have Sam move it to where it was supposed to go. because I couldn't hear it. And they were right, but I was like, I am fine to go down that with you, and I don't hear it that way. But none of the rest of the song worked because the verse ran into the chorus then if I was doing it my way. So they were right, but I could not physically hear it. So I turned the music off and just sang it to the click.
My brain is the same way. If my brain attaches to the way I have heard it, I've only ever once or twice been able to reset my brain to hear it shifted. If this makes no sense, I'm sorry, listener.
But
there will be like
I'm
5 or 6
geeking
people
out on phrasing.
There will be
right
like
now.
5 or
This is
6
fun.
producers who are like, yes.
I know. There'll be a couple
And
people
one
that are
is
like, we know
Sam.
exactly. Yeah. Because phrasing is a big thing, and where, those things when you say that gets crowded at the pre or something, if something starts early and then it ends up overlapping at the pre, if it's on the one, it's past and you've got to adjust. I mean, there's so many little nerdery little moments we could seriously get on.
I like
about.
that's what this is for, right?
Truth.
Yes,
Yes.
it's exactly.
I mean, nobody.
And we
here
haven't
for the
talked about
soup.
phrasing ever. I don't think so.
Yeah, we really haven't actually.
Let's go.
It's really important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like the way that styles get made.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, and you also hear, remember like when FGL blew up, everything became triplets?
Mhm.
Like styles get made with
Oh, yeah.
phrasing, and they're still around. Now they're coming back because everything is a cyclical.
Mhm.
Apparently people like rock music again, but
And it's not just that too. In rap music, triplets is crazy. And fucking
Yes.
Old Dominion, their triplet is their one move. Every song, if you listen to any
yes.
Old Dominion song, you will hear ya da 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 on top of,
Yep.
and that's a triplet, y'all. That's a triplet. All that to say, that is rap music. That is everywhere. And it's weird because I get exhausted of that sound. And I've been in pop rooms where I'm like, could we just not triplet, please? Because it becomes this like go-to sound. And it also is really easy to put you could put any sentence in this pause because you could da, da, da. It doesn't really have constraints where it's if you're on the 4, you have to kind of rhyme in a certain way.
You hear that, people? Straighten your shit out, okay?
No, triplets are great. They serve a very important function, which is asymmetrical sentences.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I feel like asymmetrical sentences and triplets are like
Also,
bedfellows.
triplets are like, they're not the salt or the pepper. They're like the garlic.
Yeah. Oh, God, I love that you just said that.
They're like, you can't write an entire song of triplets, but you can slide it in there and you're like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
I got that taste.
And I'll
I
tell
like
you
that.
what, people do write songs, all triplets, and it is
It's too much.
delicious for some, mostly the Italians out there. Just
much.
love it. Just give me more garlic.
You know
more
what
garlic.
I hate? I despise, and I don't think I've had a song that's been 4 on the floor in like 9 years, but I hate 4 on the floor.
Tell me what 4 on the floor is to you.
That's just when the kick drum's just doing this. I hate it.
Why?
I hate it. There's nothing. It's just a nothing burger.
To me, that nothing burger sounds like a drink in the air.
Oh,
I
hate it.
literally feel
I'm like,
like it's the
That's your
beginning of
clubber.
every
Your
club
club.
song.
it's so much. I'm
Every
not talking about
concert.
it like 4 on the floor in country.
Okay, give me an example. Oh no, maybe we shouldn't because then you're insulting something. Let's not.
I would say,
But like this is so like if a producer pulls that up, I'm like, all right, cool, next.
Really?
But it's like you can do the
Okay,
same
you're
thing and just move the kick. That's all I'm
All
asking
right,
you
I
to
hear
do.
ya.
Just 4 on the floor drives me nuts,
Man,
and
but
that's just
then
a
I-
personal preference. That's all.
then I think about you.
What's your least favorite
Think
hit?
about 17. And then I'm like 4 on the floor. And I'm like, I'm grooving.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying yes.
Okay, I hear
I
you.
don't
You're
think-
tired of it.
that doesn't
feel
count.
like we're in the
That's not
writer room
4 on the
right now.
That,
This is
that doesn't
fun.
count. I don't think.
You're right because it's
That's
it's a shuffle on top
just
of it.
that's just
Wow,
1
we
and
are
3.
nerding.
But I think what you're talking about is that like the 4 on the floor thing has supplanted or replaced the triplet thing almost in terms of trends. It's the it's like the early 2000s indie sound
Mhm.
has like country has finally caught up to that, and it's
Mhm.
all over the place, and it's like this very effective like nostalgic feel of the like Lumineers or like the Mumford and
Mm.
Sons or whatever has sort of infiltrated country now,
Mhm.
or at least the fringes of country,
Yes.
and it's very evocative, which is why it worked in 2006 6 or
It's
whatever.
also a really good, wow, the nerd level we've reached a potent level of nerdery, but I'm going to say it and then maybe we talk about Ryan Hurd.
That's okay.
I think that it's a really good way to meld genres, like the way that Shabuzi, like you're putting two things, like all of those things coexist in that particular beat that I feel like
and it
why it's working
often
so well.
happens to coincide with upstrokes on the
100%.
acoustic guitar. Jenga, jenga,
Exactly.
jenga, jenga.
There she is. And that's the era we're in right now.
I
It's
love
like
the
the boom chick, boom
Shabuzi
chick.
album.
Me too.
So good.
It.
Me too.
I love that album.
Mhm.
I think it. Yeah, I thought it was really, really creative.
Yeah.
And the mix is really great on it. If you listen to it on a speaker spread.
Yeah. I also really love the way he's managing his stardom explosion. I like the way he's managing his career. Just his energy is so fucking lighthearted about things, and I just think he's great. We love a Shabooze. We're in.
I don't know him at all.
I don't know him either. I'd like to meet him.
I love that album, and I hope he makes another one that's similar in or whatever's on his heart.
Wants.
Something that's so great about it too is that it's, because it's melding genres, like that's a feat in itself, but it does a really great job at all of the like major elements that are pulled in. Like it's a legit kind of hip hop R&B crossover-y kind of thing. Like it could live in that world just fine.
Yep.
And it like does a great job at ticking those boxes. And it also serves a country audience, like aesthetically and harmonically, and like I think
he's doing God's work. He's bringing us all together. I mean, truly, musically, I think he's doing what America needs.
There's a song on there called "Let It." I think it's called "Let It Burn," and it is so well written, and the second verse is so dope. I just was like, man, that is a really well written song, and it just kind of lyrically just like tumbles in a great way, where it's like not just one thing that I really love in music and songwriting, and you hear it on like my albums if anyone listens to them.
I do.
But I love when it's not just like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus out. Like I like when it's like, okay, we're going to do this. Like it just goes in an unexpected place, and sometimes that's like the second half of the second verse, or sometimes that's, I don't know. I have this song on this album I wrote that I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but it's like verse, chorus, completely different kind of verse for a minute and a half, chorus, bridge out, done. And I'm like, that's what I like to do, which is like basically takes your thumb off the hit button, but that's okay for a second.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah, but I do love that record, and I would love to be involved at some point. I think we're the people for it.
Let's
Me
go.
and you.
I like it. Let's make it happen.
And if not, they're doing fine without us.
They will move on either way. How do you make records and tour so little?
You just got to be comfortable with making less money.
Whoa. I'm going to make her animate a mic drop for that one. You what now? Say it again.
You just have to be comfortable
making
making less money. Also, touring is really, really, really hard.
Very.
Nobody realizes how little money these artists are making. Like everybody sees the revenue side, and I see that and go, wow, there's a lot of people commissioning that revenue side. And then I see the overhead side, and I'm like, well, a lot of those people commissioning that side aren't contributing to the overhead of this entire business. And then, I mean, they are the overhead, which is fine. Everybody has to get paid. I'm not saying that they don't deserve to,
of course.
Especially for great work. Great tours are not made by great artists. They are made by great teams. But it's so hard to tour. And I've been really, the one thing I've been a really successful artist in terms of like what I expected out of this. I said, if I get one gold record and sell out Joe's on Weed in Chicago, that's all I give a shit about. And I have 3 gold records as an artist, which I'm really proud of. A couple of them are platinum or multi-platinum. And then I just had a song called Every Other Memory, which I put out like the day the world shut down. went gold 5 years later.
Whoa.
With it got to the I got to like 52, I think, on the charts, and it's a gold record. So anyway, I'm proud of all that. I've toured, sold out a lot of rooms. It's just not what I love. I don't like being away from home.
Mhm.
I don't like being away from Hayes. Like if I tour going forward, it'll be like every other week because I have Hayes every other week,
Mhm.
and that's like the priority. You only get one shot at that.
Mhm.
But also, that's not my thing. I don't have to do it to make money, and it's really, really hard to scratch out a profit. Everybody, I remember the last time I did a headline run, people were telling me like, "Oh, you can expect to make like 30% of your gross." I was like, "Wow, that's a lot. We have like, we have $1 million touring business, so like that's a lot of money." And on the revenue side, because that's the way that people in town talk about tours is they talk about it like, "Oh, we did 7 million in touring this year or something," which
Mhm.
I never did that. But
Mhm.
um I think the last one I did, and we crushed it. I thought we did really well. We sold tons of tickets and tons of VIP and tons of merch. I think I did like 11%.
Yeah. I was going to say 10 to 20, I think is the actual.
It used to be a lot
average.
more though. And then some of these guys can like go out and it's just there is not much of a middle class in touring. And I think a lot of these people, in order to do it and not just like absolutely have your body break down and your soul crushed, you have to be in a bus.
Mm.
And that's really hard to pay for if you're not doing, I don't know, 30 to 40 a night.
So that's like a headlining scenario.
That is not a headlining scenario.
That's a support
That
scenario?
isn't any, it doesn't matter.
It's an everybody
just
scenario.
a revenue scenario.
Well, I'm curious. I'm imagining I'm an artist. I'm trying to build my following. Why not just open for bigger artists? Like, what's the motive? If it's not financial, what's the motive for headlining a tour? Like, what's the difference? And I literally wouldn't know. So start from scratch.
Yes. Yes. If everybody was going to, if every direct support slot or first of 3 slot was available to every artist, then yes.
Is that what you'd choose?
Of course. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
all day long.
yeah,
Okay.
because it's
Saves
guaranteed
you
money that like you don't have to sit there and sweat tickets and all that. It's much easier to do that. It is harder to build a fan base that way. Like it is crazy how headlining early sets you up for headlining.
You can look at the
Down the
Texas
road.
guys and see that, like how they just grind like a rock band,
Yeah.
and they can build a massive fan base from the ground up and sustain it. Versus opening slots, you may get exposure, but you don't build that kind of grassroots.
People buy the top of the ticket.
So then this
Yeah.
is an interesting subject. It's like, then I guess I just want to know why.
It's all important. Like
Oh.
if a good agent and a good manager will balance that really well. So like
Okay.
I remember I did the Old Dominion tour in 19 right before I did the Platonic tour.
Mhm.
So I got to like get like a little bit of I ended the year on Old Dominion and then went like 2 weeks later and started my own tour. And it was good for 2 reasons. One, I got paid more on the Old Dominion tour than I was getting guaranteed on. I mean, I ended up doing really well on that tour, but yeah, it's nice to have the money so that you have a little bit of a foundation
Right.
that you're not so worried about going into your own tour.
Did you circle back through those markets?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm sure I did.
I think the usual strat would be to kind of get exposure and then roll
Hit 'em
right back
again.
through the markets in a
Right.
smaller venue, sell hard tickets.
But I think the hardest part of that is that most of these artists are not making a whole lot of money on the road. There's
Right.
tons and tons of revenue, but it's so expensive to do, and you might very well lose money on your headlining tour, so you have to go back. That's why people do the fairs and festivals all year. They're
Yes.
like, why are you playing the Tulip
Right.
Fest
Mm-hmm.
in Holland, Michigan? And you're like, well, because they paid me a lot of money to
Yeah.
come do the Tulip Fest,
Right.
and I need
Yeah.
that money to go make up for all everything's kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, but
This is information,
and
though.
it's
It's
soft
really
tickets,
interesting to,
the
like-
festivals are soft versus hard.
yeah,
Mm.
You already have buyers, ticket buyers.
Right. You
So you
don't have
roll
to
in.
draw,
Right.
essentially. They're coming
and you
anyway.
mentioned something too, Ryan, on right when you talked about touring, tour VIP merch. like you're already thinking the diversification of revenue that a lot of fans don't think of.
I think of it more as diversification of expenses, but
That's fair.
yeah, all
And
that
the
stuff's
effort it
important.
takes.
And the
The
effort
All
effort
that
it
stuff's
takes.
important, but just because you have a bunch of merch doesn't mean you have to be really careful with that. That's the hardest part about being an artist, I think, is not I love the music part. I would make records till I died if it was just that. I say it all the time. It's like, man, I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I'm an artist, but like I'm a writer. Because when you're an artist, there's nothing really creative about it. Like I say nothing because it's not true. It's not nothing. But like, let's say you're on the road on your bus and you wake up to do a show. Maybe you have some writers out there if you're in your own bus and it's comfortable and you're like set up to do that. But most of the time you don't. It's just you and your band, and you wake up and then you sit around all day. You might work out. You might play golf if you're lucky to be in that position as an artist, to like have the time and whatever resources to go do that. You might start drinking. I don't know. There's nothing to do. And then you do sound check at 3. Then the opener does sound check at 5, and then it's like VIP at 6:30, and then the show's at 7, and then you do the show. But when you do your show, it's fun. It's fun to perform if you're comfortable performing. And
If you like
for me,
performing.
performing it's like hanging on to the back of a motorcycle going 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
You're just like, this is fun, right?
Oh, that's so funny.
That's how I feel on stage, because I'm like just so terrified the entire time, and then I'm done, and I'm not like, oh my God, that was the best night of my life. I'm like, thank God it's over.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just like relief. That's how I feel at the end of a show. But
there at all a sense of accomplishment
Yes.
coupled with that relief?
yes, of course. And also, like, great shows are great, but also you're not creative in any point. You're like,
Yeah, can we break that down? Because I think what you mean is
You're like
We
an
build a
athlete.
show.
You're like
you're
an athlete.
selling the thing you already made. You're not creating something new.
Yeah.
Touring is about selling the thing you already made.
and even your show, especially the way we do it now, is like your drummer has a computer and there's an Ableton file in your computer, and he opens it up and he makes sure it's working, and he presses space bar, and that's the show.
Whoa.
It's the same every night, right? Unless we do a couple things here and there, but for the most part, you have a set list that you're going to do for a couple months. It's fun, and it is music, and it is like performing, and it's not creative.
It's
So
almost
if
like a
you are
linebacker on a football team. Like you've got a role to play, and you're going to
sure,
play it.
well, I mean, we talk
Yeah.
about, like, that is true on the road. Everybody has a job, and Hayes asked Marin the other night. He was like, "Who's the boss?" And she said, "Jennifer, who's the tour manager."
Mhm.
He's like, "I thought you were the boss." And she's like, "Well, I am until we get on the bus, and then Jennifer's the boss." And that's the way it has to be. But it is like a football team. And
Yes.
actually, when I tour, I have like everybody wears the same thing. Everything is like, all the cases are branded. Like every tour
Yep.
does that. All of our gaff tape is the same color, whatever that is for that tour. Like, I like walking in like a baseball team because it keeps a lot of the group think out of there too. Always have a mixed bus. Always have to have women and men on the bus. Because I think it keeps a lot of shenanigans at bay.
Mhm.
But
Whoa.
But also, it's not like what makes me happy is not like I have loved the opportunities I've had touring. It's exhausting, and it makes me really anxious, and the parts that are great are like seeing the fans and like playing music with your band is amazing. That part is, while it might not be like creating something new, it is musical, and it is like that is very cool. But all the stuff around it is hard. Like, there's nothing easy about like a 5 a.m. flight. I don't care who you are. There's nothing fun about that.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of those. There's a lot of things you miss. So those are the reasons that I have not done it as much the last few years.
I just think it's worth noting that you are doing it. Like, there are people who will straight-faced look you straight in the eye and say, I don't have a choice. And I think it's nice to say with solidity, yes, you do. You will make less money, but yes, you do. And because there are people who have kids, like you have kids. And when you have a life that you're trying to serve, Especially, there are certain stages too where it's like, yes, you have to go balls to the walls at a certain point, but you can slow things down at a certain point too. And I think just granting permission to build your life the way you want it to look is just a nice thing to hear, you know?
And I have had to work really hard to do that. That's not a place of, most people on the road are out there because, and I'm saying people, not artists, but people are out there because it's their
Like
job
players,
and
et
they're
cetera.
told to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be there, or they don't, or they got to go find another gig. And the artists feel trapped because trapped is the wrong word.
Beholden. I know what
They're
you're about
beholden
to say.
to the payroll.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you want to have a touring operation, you want to have 3 buses on the road, and you want to have a crew and a band. Well, those are, and a good one. Those are salaried positions. You have a payroll that you have to meet every single month, and so
Yes.
if you don't do it, then you
They're
either
going
have
to
to
find another gig.
let people go,
Yeah.
or go out of pocket, and nobody can go out of pocket for a payroll. Like zero amount of people can do that.
This
Maybe,
is the
like,
rock and the hard place. I mean, I just feel like
Sure.
that's a
So-
really good point.
So people build amazing businesses, but they require you to play 3 weekends a month at least.
Mhm.
So that's why people from like April to Thanksgiving, it's the way we do it in Nashville too. They're gone at least 3 nights a week on their bus with
Mhm.
their band because they have to meet those obligations. They have a bus lease, which is, a bus leases, like, they're cheaper if you lease them for a year or 3 years, but you have it for 3 years. So you have to play for 3 years to pay for it. So
Mhm.
like and the reason we can do it in Nashville like that is because we're in the center of the country.
Mhm.
So we can go
Right.
run out to the Northeast for a
Yeah.
weekend. West Coast is 10 days. You know that
Mhm.
West Coast is in the middle of summer. You're going to have 2 weeks out there
Mhm.
because it's too expensive to do otherwise. Going to the
Mhm.
West Coast is like going to Europe almost,
Mhm.
just based on like moving people.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can make a lot of money on the road. It's not like every publisher thinks like, well, these guys are out there just making millions of dollars all the time. And I'm like, yeah. And it's about what you take home though. And it's hard to turn a dollar on the road because like when my last tour, diesel went up to like almost $5 a gallon. And it's like nobody,
Right.
William Morris wasn't like, oh man, we'll chip in for that. Like, no, they took their 10% like
Off the top. to
off
be
the top.
clear.
And
Yeah.
everybody takes it off the top. And
Yeah.
and I have been really fortunate because I've worked with a great manager for years and a great business manager for years, to where we worked out a deal to where it's like, listen, if I'm not making money out there, I don't feel comfortable with you guys just endlessly commissioning all of that, because then I'm just I'm indentured to this bus,
Mhm.
and I don't want that. We have to, if I'm leaving my house, it has to be to make money. So we actually came to a really great understanding of like what we would commission and what we wouldn't. And it wasn't because I didn't want to pay people. I just didn't want to be out there making money for everybody else and not
Mhm.
taking something home. Like
Right.
I paid, like, this is TMI, but this is personal, but like my touring, all the money I made touring is like, that's Hayes' college fund. If college exists in 15 years. But like, that's all that, like, that's what I had to be forced something. So
Mhm.
like I paid for all that touring, and like he's obviously got like school now, which is part of that too. But like, I think it's really important for artists to have a really good understanding of their business beyond just like, what are my social numbers? And like, you should, like, it's really hard because your goal is to get a record deal. That's your first goal ever as an artist. Just get a record deal. You don't really care much about what it is, because the whole thing's about like, how do I get like my foot in the door into the next thing? And it's record deal. It's really hard to do it without a record deal. I've tasted that a touch, and I'm not like, the labels do a lot of work for these.
It's an infrastructure. It's
It
a
is.
system.
And everyone who's like says like, oh, they don't do anything. It's like, well, they may not do what you want, but they do a lot of stuff. And
we've talked a ton about that on here.
they control a lot of
there
stuff,
are artists who
too.
can like go out and get popular, but the infrastructure around them, whether it be management or a label or in combination, like the infrastructure around them is what makes lifer artists. You can have a hit on TikTok. Like that can happen. It has happened. But to build a career, the infrastructure is just imperative.
And what you're highlighting too for me is that back to kind of highlight what you said about creativity. It's not just the creativity. I mean, you just reeled off a ton of data.
I know.
That's like a CEO of an operation. Like what's the cost of diesel when you went on your last tour? Like those kind of things. I think artists may not realize what they're stepping into. Like when you're in that beautiful sanctuary of the studio creating the art, that's that's where you want to be. And then you step out and you're running a business.
And there are
the next
people
day.
who find so much joy in that showmanship thing that I just want to highlight too. Like Ryan, the thing you're describing about the way you feel on stage is not universal to artists. Some people, that is their home sweet home. They get that mic in their hand and that is where they feel they belong.
Yeah.
I feel like what you said, and I agree with you just in knowing you and being your friend, like in here, you're a writer, and in order to serve the songs you write, you're an artist. There is a reversal in some
Mhm.
situations. I mean, Lady Gaga is like, try to convince me she doesn't love being a showman. Like you will fail. Like there are people who are meant for it in that particular way. But I think the way you're breaking open, like how the sausage is made, is going to benefit so many new artists high out there. People who are like, I think I want to do it. I know how to write songs. I've got a little inertia as a songwriter, but these songs aren't getting cut, so I want to be an artist. Listen, like rewind, like listen to this episode a couple times, understand the business that you're signing up for, because it's not a small arrangement. It is a big arrangement. It's not just like, oh, I wonder if people will like my songs. It's, do you have the, wherewithal / determination to like keep doing the thing you're describing, being beholden to a bus. That is just
and making
putting it that way.
thousands of decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of
Yes.
decisions.
And all of them could be the difference between you clearing maybe $100,000 on your tour or maybe losing 50. Like
Right.
Mhm.
there's people say all the like, oh, well, like you'll just sell merch to make up for it. I'm like, yeah, but you got to pay for that merch
Mhm.
first. So like you have to be very careful as like where you get, and like, is your merch company taking 25% of it off the
Mhm.
top? Because that's another big, that's something too.
Mm-hmm.
And how
Or
do
it's
you
like-
get it there?
And how do we, right? And
All
how do you
the-
find
all those
somebody who can
details.
service this at with a different arrangement? And it's like, well, the reason they're taking 25% is sometimes they're the only ones that can do it, which is fair enough.
I have a question for you. The perception as a songwriter, and I know we've said this, I know you and I have said this to each other, like songwriters make a certain amount, the copyright, we're not on the master. There's all this conversation around it. It's continually going to be a part of this podcast that we talk about where our money comes from. Something that songwriters say a lot is, well, artists are making money on touring. Something that we say a lot is, well, they're making money on touring. Producers are making money on the master. I think it's an interesting thing. Just if you're a songwriter out there, are they and who is pocketing the quadrillions of dollars that are seemingly coming into the music industry? Like, what's going on there? Because like I think songwriters do perceive the artist to be in a different bracket, and they are, because they have brand deals, and their record deals are very lofty sometimes. Like the money they make just on signing a deal can be very lofty. But like, I think we need to break open why we say that. Why do we say like, oh, they're making money on touring?
I think because we have to fight for every dollar.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. Like even when you have a hit, you have to go fight for more money because somebody got paid more than you, and this or more. Like, I don't know. I have found the last 2 years, like just getting people to write the check they've said they will write is
Whoa.
hard sometimes. If artists were making so much money, they wouldn't care about who wrote the song. Like it's hard to make money out there. I would point to every time you like, I'll use, one time I was talking to Brett Young about this, and I don't think he would care. And he was so excited because he had just stepped up to like, I don't know, it was like 2,500 to 3,000 person theaters. And he's like, yeah, but then like my production costs went way up. So he's so excited because like his revenue just went through the roof to him,
Mhm.
like probably doubled.
But his net.
But
Yeah.
also like he has to carry a video board now, and video boards cost so much money, and that might mean you have to take a truck now, which is $5,000 a week to have your own truck. Cheaper than a bus, but still you got to pay a guy to drive it, and you got to rent it, and then you got to pay someone to move all the shit on and off of it. It's not like there's a lot of things that go into being an artist to where like clearing money, and also artists get paid. They pay themselves usually at the end of the year. Maybe they pay themselves like quarterly, but for the most part, they go run up a bunch of revenue. Everybody else gets paid, and then like Christmas time, they like write themselves a check for whatever's left. So yes, I think the hard part about the music business right now, and I think it could be very much solved with one thing, but
what is that one thing?
I mean, it all comes back.
Curious.
We'll be right back.
It is,
And commercial.
and it's not a secret. It just is what it is. It would make everybody be fine with the arrangement again, but yes, artists make a lot of money. They also work really, really, really hard to make that money. It is hard. The thing that just doesn't compute with me about touring is one show, one check. It blows my mind. That's the business model. Is like, I can't sell this business. This is not a business. This is just a self-proprietorship at this point.
Can you break that open? I don't get it.
Yeah. This is good.
One show, one check. I go play in Peoria for a festival, and they write me a check for whatever it is, and then that's it. I got to take my bus and go somewhere else to get another check. But when you are in the royalty business, you write a hit song and it pays you for 3 to 5 years, right? Pretty consistently. I like that a lot more. It's like, yeah, there's a lot less risk, there's a lot less overhead, and when it does pop, like the trade-off is it's a lot harder to write a hit than it is to go play a show. But that's what, like, I would rather spend my time in town grinding on making a couple hits a year and having that catalog build up than going and riding my bus and getting paid a bunch of money with a bunch of overhead that I have to pay taxes on, it's just, to me, I can't sell that business like I can sell a book, like I can sell a catalog. I can't sell the Ryan Hurd touring business because, I mean, I could sell it, but I still got to show up.
Right.
Like, nobody's going to be like, here's his hologram. Like, can you imagine?
It'll happen.
I'll be out. Hey, I'm like hologram touring. I'm in. I'm not anti-touring either. These are just the hard parts. And the great parts are like, you cannot replicate seeing the people's faces.
Right.
And you cannot replicate live, like the feeling of live music and the feeling of drums. We still play real amps because
rock and roll.
Feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it in your body.
Yeah. Because fake amps fucking stupid. Like, I gotta feel it. I want to feel real drums and real amps. But
I mean, if you're gonna bother to go to the show, you might as well.
Yeah, you might as well turn it up loud and not be able to hear on the way back. What?
Exactly.
I don't know. I love, and I think what we're talking about, like songwriters wanting to have a piece of the master, wanting to have like some of the label money, some of the this and the that. It's like, man, if the streaming royalty was what it should be, nobody would be trying to grab other people's shit. Like, if you got paid a mechanical royalty like you did in the 90s, where it was 9 cents a song per record, and if you were on a gold album, you got paid $45,000 for having a song on there, you would be like, cool, man, yeah, I like the way this works. But it's that, now we have to go into all these other things about the way the music business should be, when in reality, like the way that it was already was perfectly servicing tons and tons of songwriters.
It was.
Yes.
I think that the
disappearance of the
argument-
mechanical royalty is fucking everybody.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I'm happy to take as much fucking Spotify stock as you'll give me. That would have been free for them. And now we have to be in lawsuit after fucking lawsuit with these people who just refuse to pay for it. And then they look at the labels and they're like, well, you guys should have to pay. And we pay you a lot of money. And it kind of shows how these major labels don't particularly value their publishing businesses, because every head of every major label is also technically the head of the publishing company.
If there is an arm out there, yeah.
To my understanding, Lucian is in charge of is someone's boss at the publishing company, correct?
Right. I think so.
So I don't think they particularly value that part of the business, because the labels are making so much money off of their streaming royalty that there was that one moment where it felt like everybody was together in like the way that it should be structured with these tech companies, and then I don't know where that went. But
Well, bundling, a lot of things happened.
yeah, and nobody wants to step on the money they're already making to go like make some noise for the publishers and the writers. But
I think the thing about the reason why it's reshuffling and the reason why I feel, slightly passionate about having a share on the master,
I think it's fine to
I think the reason, my reasoning is not just I want that. It's that the master is a perpetuity product. The master is something in the streaming world that continues and continues and continues. Those streaming numbers, they hit 1 million, then they hit 2 million, and then they hit 3. Those numbers are only going to go up. Back in the 90s when people bought a record, those numbers didn't continue to go up like they're going to go up. It's different. Something's different. And the fact that I think that I just feel like
I've never
songwriters
heard
should
it
have,
put like that.
you know what I mean? I feel like the perpetuity of it all, the fact that songwriters have nothing to do with perpetuity right now, quite literally. Our songs, we only make money in that first pop. Like it gets released, you hope it ends up on some sort of radio, you hope it gets streamed, and it keeps getting streaming, and you don't make any money as it's streaming, and the radio is
drops.
done,
Yeah.
and we've lost the perpetuity of it all. For me, I think
true.
that the model has to suggest that we all have a piece of something that's going to continue to affect people. That's the part that I feel passionate about. I don't know how to fix it.
I think
I don't
we're
know. I
talking
don't know
about
what
the same
the answer is. Oh, I think we are too.
Because I think I'm saying like that the mechanical royalty from CD sales,
Yeah.
that no longer exists for us. I mean, we get. I think it's Big Machine paid. I think we get paid this week.
Yeah, we do. Let's go. Come on. We work for the same. Well, they work for the same us.
We're partners.
We're partners. That's
partners.
right.
Yeah, we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the streaming royalty being attached to, like, there being actually like a copyright royalty associated to streaming that was worth a shit. Goes like we're talking like take it off the master, take it from these. I don't care.
Just
But,
take
like,
it from
if it's-
something.
I've had I think 4 gold records that didn't go to radio as a writer, and it's infuriating.
No, it's disgusting.
It's like you're welcome, I guess. Is how I feel about it. It's like that. It's hard. It's hard to watch, and it's not necessarily anyone's fault. They're all doing their best for their artists. Like, but it is. I'm saying like the fact that like another song went instead of my song, which was
Sure.
streaming like crazy.
But that doesn't.
It-
that's the point.
it's
Is that the
frustrating to-
metrics are weird.
To have that for somebody and then go, so nothing.
Exactly. Like the 90s, just for a second to break open how that would have gone. I went to 2 concerts in the last 2 weeks where I was half of the set. Half. Only 1 or 2 of the songs that I heard will actually, because they went to radio. I literally am just listening to my work getting played over and over. The people are benefiting. The artist is benefiting. The record label is benefiting from all this art that I made that I don't get paid for. That's not anybody's fault in that room. I just think there's something wrong.
There's 100%.
And in the 90s, I would have made money on the records that would have been sold to get those people the butts in the seats. I would have made money to get the butts in the seats. And then I would have been like, oh, look at us. We're all making money. And look at all these people loving our music. For me, I kind of have to go like, cool. You know what I mean? And it's disheartening.
I do think it would. I was thinking about this on the way over. I was like, it would be nice. No one ever will pay someone unless they're forced to do it. So I'm not like,
Well said.
but I was like, why don't like the labels get the songs for free and then they pay a royalty on the back end. So essentially that's them paying nothing because it's essentially them cutting off our cut of what they've made. Right? Instead of like being like going out of pocket to be like, here's 10 grand to hold this song or to cut this song. But I'm not saying that's a thing.
Yes.
I'm not saying that that's what, but I was saying that is weird that like essentially what is provided is
Free.
free.
I think that needs to be
The
loud
streaming royalty
and clear.
It used to be if you were on if you had a song on a CD that sold 500,000 copies, 500,000, which is a gold record. Now we have the gold record equivalent, which is 500,000 units, and I don't know what a fucking unit is, but 9.5 cents per track, split up based on writers and publishers. So say you had a 2-way, you had a half. I think that's a gold record is $45,000 in royalties that it would have accrued. Excuse me.
At that 9%. Okay, I'm tracking you.
And then you would No, I'm sorry, 9 cents.
9
It was
cents. I'm
9
sorry.
cents per track. Per anyway, it's something like $45,000 was what you'd get paid on a gold record for having a two-way, and then you split that in two. That's $22,500
For a gold record.
for a song on an album. I can't remember the last time I made $22,000 on an album track.
What are the levers? I keep wondering. I keep thinking like,
We
okay,
have great people who work for us.
yeah.
David Israelite and Bart
Yes.
Herbison
Hell,
at
David's going to
NFPA
be
and
on this
NSAI.
podcast.
Yeah,
I
David's
cannot
going to be
wait.
on. We can ask him questions.
It's going to be so good.
They are incredible advocates for us. And if you think about it, well, the public, like, you can say what you want. Like publishers and writers are in the exact same boat.
Totally.
And there might be some nuances about like how their business and our business is different. But for the most part, that's all we got is those two organizations. And then you can say the PROs are involved, but like not in the same way. Like their PROs are fantastic advocates when we're aligned, but they're also interested in protecting their own business model.
And can I pause you
And
for
then
1
let's
second?
name those organizations too,
Oh.
so that we've got them.
BMI, ASCAP.
Oh, I just mean
CSEC.
David.
NMPA
Oh,
NFPA.
NFPA, yeah.
and NSAI, Nashville
NSAI.
Songwriters Association International.
And what I was going to say to pause you is that the publishers and the writers being in the same boat is extra loud when you realize that NSAI is the National
Nashville Songwriters Association International.
Songwriters NSAI. And then what is NMPA? National
Music
Publishers
Publishers Association.
The publishers pay David Israelite to go lobby and figure out and sue and do the math and blah, blah, blah. I'm not paying for those research projects. I'm not paying for those lawsuits. The publishers are. So please thank your publisher
Mhm.
for trying
supporting
to
that.
fix this problem
We
for all
pay
of us.
And
our
you're on the
NSAI
same team.
memberships pay
Mhm.
for Bart to do the same thing.
Truth.
So we are paying NSAI to do not the exact same lobbying, but to be on the same team as David.
Exactly. And
And
both of their
So
efforts
songwriters
Thank you
join
to Bart and
NSAI.
David and everybody involved.
Publishers
Absolutely.
get to NMPA.
Totally.
Yeah.
They
that's a
are
big thing.
doing
It
great
is.
things. And I really think if we get the streaming royalty figured out, that will solve so many
Yeah.
imbalances. And
Mhm.
it will make songwriting very, very special again.
Yes.
Like, it will, I can't, like, it would make me celebrate so much more if I just knew that, like, hey, man, like, it'd be awesome to get, like, a radio single, but if it doesn't, I know this is still generating, as long as it's out, I'm getting paid on that, and that makes it so, the catalog sales, which we always talk about, being, like, the holy grail of songwriting, like, that's the Super Bowl for every songwriter is being able to sell a book,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same one, but but anyway, I the streaming royalty being fixed is massive, and I will take Spotify stock or Apple stock or Amazon stock in exchange for them not wanting to, like, I remember who told me that the first. I think Bart.
Oh, is that an idea?
Bart told me that once. We were in an NSAI like breakfast that they do a great job of doing, and I think he was like, "We'll take all the Spotify stock you got for us."
So in exchange for
Well,
what
just
they're
like you
taking
gotta
from
pay
us.
something.
As opposed to cash.
And so-
That's
Yeah.
wild.
As
I've never
opposed
heard
to, I'm just saying, like, if you don't want to pay us, like, we'll take all that fake money.
that.
So let's hold it for a year.
We'll
then
vest
sell
it.
Yeah, get vested.
Jeez, that's insane.
That's so good.
I have one
Ah.
question for you, and then we'll let you skedaddle to your right.
Did I say enough about writing?
Oh my God, I feel like this is
Oh.
a thick educational episode. I feel like this needs to be like required listening because you broke down so many important numbers that I feel like as an artist you're the only one who would know these things. I don't know these things. I've never had a semi truck. I don't care to have one, so I don't know what that's like. So I'm really grateful, especially when songwriters sort of, again, villainize, too strong a word, but we do kind of throw, the artist under the bus. That's funny. The bus. That we throw y'all under the bus because we're like, you guys are making money in this way and we're not, so it's unfair. And it's like actually in just body damage / investment / how much you're actually taking home. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I said, it's not something I'd ever want to do.
It's hard. It's a
It's
business.
really, really hard. And some
Yes.
people love it, and I'm glad for them. But point being, it's a hard business.
I think a lot about my first big tour was Thomas Rhett. My first tour, I got to open for Chase Rice, and that was really fun. And then the second one was Thomas Rhett, and it was me and Russell Dickerson were opening, and then Kelsey was next, and then Thomas. It was his first time headlining arenas, and I just remember me and Russ shared a bus, and it was really fun. And I have always had, from the moment our first sound check, watching his band and then watching my band, I thought my band was so great. We crushed every night, but I am not Russell on stage. That guy was born to do that.
So born.
And I just remember it being like, that guy is kicking my ass every night.
That's funny.
And but he is still out there, and he is still building a touring business. It's getting to the point now where it's getting really, really big, but he's worked really, really hard to get there.
And he loves
and
it.
he's committed to
He
it.
loves
And it is who he is in a way that it's I want to go in the studio and make some shit up. That's what I truly, and so I have the best thing I did as an artist was maintain my songwriting career because it gave me options. And it also is it's like my soulscape. It's where I want to be. I want to be making things up.
Well, I mean, it's very Ryan Hurd.
And Russell, the difference between Russell and me, personality wise, and also musically, Russell's a great writer.
Oh yeah,
he's a fantastic artist. I have nothing but respect for him, but it made me just be like, that's a lifer on the road, and I am I'm borrowing. It says I'm vacationing here. I'm gonna.
Sounds like the most stressful vacation of all time.
Oh, it does.
Well, it is when
stressful.
it is when you don't love it, and there's always hard days out there. But there's a difference between I'm tired and I want to go home.
Yeah.
But I love what I get to do. I love that I get to do both things. I don't know how much longer I have making records. Because this last record I made was it was a Camel by committee. Do you ever
break it open? What's that mean?
A Camel by committee is if you tell a group of people, if I told you draw a camel, you just draw a camel. But if I told 4 people, if I described a camel and told them to draw it, it wouldn't look like a camel. Anyway.
Okay.
We have to leave it.
I started it at Sony. Ended up leaving that record company or getting dropped. Either way is fine with me. I loved my time at Sony. We had so much success together, and I still have breakfast with Randy Goodman every once in a while because I enjoy it and loved. Well, then my first 2 songs I released, I finished it by myself, had to pay for all the content and stuff, which is the other thing. Being an independent artist is great because you see a bunch of revenue come in, and then all of a sudden they're like, cool, we need $2,500 this week for this content thing. And the next week we need $3,000. The next week we need $7,000. And then production deals come in and you're like, oh shit, you got to pay the producers. And so then that all goes out the window. And then I signed a deal with Big Machine, and I love paying producers. That's not my point, but it is independence is hard because you don't have that bank to just fall back on. And then I signed with Big Machine on a licensing deal. And so then I have a new management team. So I went from being at Sony with one manager to completely independent without a manager, managing myself for a month, which was a goddamn disaster.
1 month. 1 month. That's incredible.
And then I got a new label, and then I got a new manager. So it was this sort of I'm just proud it got out.
Yeah.
At that
just
point,
made it.
It's this is awesome. But I want to make another one. I think I love making the records. That's the best part.
Yeah.
And but I forgot where I was going.
I like where you're going. I feel like most artists, that's their safe place. The writing room is I always say the writing room should be the safest place you are in the music industry. Recording is just one step out of that safety. And I feel like everything out from that is just not safe. I mean, frankly, it's just to the dogs,
Wild
you know.
West.
That's a
it's
really
Wild
good way to
West,
put it. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah,
It's
a
not safe
place.
out there.
It's not safe out there.
It don't mean it's not fun.
Yeah, that's right. I do want to ask my final question and then let you write songs because that's
Okay.
you're supposed to do. When they fix this problem in DC, which I believe in my heart that they will,
I think
do you think?
they are. I think it's going to happen.
Okay, let's say they do.
We have to believe.
We have
Yes.
to, let's high five. But do you think they will fix it starting at that point?
Or will it be
Or
retroactive?
will they retroactively pay people for the damage they've done to the community?
I don't think you'll get anything punitive if we're going to start talking legal.
No, I'm just curious. Do you think they'll be like,
Catch up.
Do you
Will
think
they
they'll
catch
I
catch
up?
think
us
that
up?
if they say that the bundling is illegal, that they will have to retroactively pay that
Sick.
royalty.
let's go?
There's no way they can just say like, this is
And we took your
there's
money.
too much money at
Yeah.
stake for them to be like, not only is this illegal and fucking reprehensible to
It
just
is.
like, there's nothing worse than like not paying someone based on a loophole you created.
It's disgusting.
Mhm.
Who's the character in The Simpsons?
Mr. Burns.
That's what I picture. I literally picture the hands and the creepy little Mr. Burns.
Excellent.
Excellent. Exactly. It's like, it sounds like someone was just like, I got it. Let's fuck them. It's terrible.
Well, it feels like they figured it out with the labels to something to where everybody's happy with it, which is awesome. Like, hell yeah, if we're not going to sell CDs anymore, CD costs $20. There's $20 there,
Yeah.
and then it
Mhm.
splits up the way it splits up.
Mhm.
Now that we have that with the labels and with streaming, it feels like, man, it's just
It's one step
just
out.
do it over here.
Just do it over here.
And like, your stock price will continue to go up forever.
Because music will never stop being made and consumed. It's just never going to end. Just let us have a piece of the pie.
Just pay us the mechanical royalty again.
It seems so simple.
And that streaming royalty replaces the mechanical royalty that we, or whatever they call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they, I think that they will have to retroactively pay for that because that's what the MLC was created in the first
Exactly.
place for, was
Mhm.
retroactive.
And they can
payment.
now pursue,
And
which
the way
is
they-
incredible. As of like last week, the
Yes.
MLC is legally allowed to
Yes.
sue, right?
Mhm.
to
and-
unbundle.
To unbundle.
It's just like podcasts
Debundle.
and are not music.
I know.
They're separate things. They're not the same.
Well, it's funny.
Indeed.
You're sitting
not
on one. We're here doing this, and our thing is available on Spotify, which we have mixed feelings about because we are part of that weird bundle. Like we're bundled, which is so creepy. I'm just like, I can't believe they're choosing that. All that to say, they'll fix it. It'll be fine, right?
I hope so. Next
Right,
time
Ryan?
next time, what are we talking about next time?
When you come back here,
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
come on back. Yes.
Please do. What's our goal?
I mean, we haven't even talked about your songwriting, like
Oh.
arc of your songwriting.
I'm not interested in
career.
that. I like
I thought this was a touring
we can
podcast.
talk about like business managers and attorneys.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you really helped fill in like a vast hole of blanks when it comes to what an artist has to go through to do the thing past the making of the music.
Yes.
And for that, I say thank you, Ryan Hurd.
Do you want to
Yes.
hear a crazy thing that happened to me the other night?
Yes, please.
I was watching I think I was watching a baseball game, and I saw my buddy that I went to high school with named Brett Green on an Apple commercial. He's an actor in LA, and he was on an Apple commercial. So I turned the volume up on the TV. And I was like, "Oh, there's Brett on TV," and listened to him. He's the guy getting the tattoos for the new iPhone commercial
hmm
on his left arm. I was like, "Oh, there it is. Good for Brett. He's on Apple." And then the very next commercial was a Miller Lite commercial, and so I was watching it, and someone's like, "Oh, there's your Miller Lite commercial." In 2021, I believe, I was at the ACMs in Vegas, and I told Miller Lite, I was at, I think we were trying to do a Miller Lite deal at the time, and it was like the head of marketing from Miller Lite, and then Pete Coors of,
Course.
Mr. Coors,
Mr. Coors.
not even like Mr. Sony. This is Mr. Coors. Like, it's actually him. And he, anyway, I'm like, by the way, I have an amazing commercial idea for you guys. I want to write. That's what I would do if I didn't do music. I would write copy
Okay,
for like
sick.
an ad
I
agency.
love that.
That's my dream job. My
Did
dad.
they steal your idea?
Well, I'm getting there.
I'm scared.
So
Okay.
I'm like, imagine this. This is the camera, okay?
Okay.
Black and white drop, silent. There's just one room mic here. There's nothing on in the frame. I walk into frame, look dead to camera, open my beer, take a sip. I say, Miller Lite, what beer tastes like. And I walk off. And that's the whole commercial. And they looked
That
at me
is so Ryan
and they were
Hurd.
like, well, we just spent like 20 million on a new brand campaign. I was like, I hope you have 20 million more.
I'll take 10, actually.
They said,
Yeah, I'll do
they
it.
said, no, thank you. Well, after Brett's commercial,
No.
it's this
No.
giant Miller Lite spot, and Christopher Walken
Of course.
is narrating,
10 million right there.
and he goes through the whole thing about how hell yeah Miller Lite is. And he gets to the end and he says, Miller Lite, light beer that tastes like beer.
That's a little close.
It's a little close.
I'll tell you
It's
what.
just a little close. I don't want any money. I don't want any money.
Just credit.
Credit.
A
When we go
little
to the
bit of
Addies
credit.
in New York, the National Addies, which is the Emmys
for
for
ads.
Addies. I just like it to say, and also Ryan.
Okay. I like it.
And I'll
co-sign
say dreams
this.
do come true. Yeah, I'm basically Don Draper, but
You are so fun and so silly. And you are all the nerd you always were when I met you. I just love you so much.
thank you.
Oh my God. What a fantastic episode. Thank you guys
Still
for
nerding after all
listening.
these years.
Holy
You're
moly.
still
Yeah.
Ryan,
thank you, guys.
nerding After all.
Ryan, thanks.
these
Thank you. Hey,
years.
hold on, everybody. For God's sake. Please watch this video on YouTube and leave us comments. Subscribe to this shit.
That's right.
We're trying to grow this shit.
That's right.
We're trying to pop.
That's right.
And
I wanted to ask you on the air,
Oh.
what's your least favorite hit? Just kidding.
That's not nice. That's
Just
not
kidding.
nice.
And cut.
And scene.
we're losing power, it looks like.
Rate, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Say you like
Ask
our
questions,
podcast.
too. We
Ask
need
questions. Send us thoughts, whatever it is.
'Kay.
Remind us how handsome this man. Look at this man.
Or any of us, for God's sake.
I know. Look at Kevin.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.